good Saturday afternoon to y'all YouTube. It is 2:53 on this day, July 12th, looks like. Um, I have been printing something on the new printer that I got, the V3 Plus Creality. And I had asked Bob for some time now, since I got it and got it working and all. I wanted a big print, and I wanted something to basically test out the printer, see what the speed was, quality, all that good stuff. And big print is always a good thing to do for that. So and that was the other thing. So I wanted to basically get that all done. And so finally we were talking about something. I forget what it was, but something to do with the business. And we got our website up, the eCreator site, and we did get our first sale on there, by the way, the other day. It wasn't for a 3D printed object. It was for a kit, BDST2. But otherwise, it did work and everything, so it was good. Got it tested out. We always like to do that with a new site. So, but anyway, back to this idea of something to sell. We both have been kind of looking around for different things. We came up with several different objects. In fact, one of them is on there now, the Stickman. Let me show you that real quick. Okay, you can see our website is up now, OGM. The Stickmen, we've got them now. They're bookends is what they are. I'll bring that one up. You can see that's what it looks like, and there's 4 pictures of it there. You can get them for $10 a pair or $6 for one, if you want one. So there's the one. So like I said, that's the first thing we've added as far as the 3D print. Well, actually, second, this Ethernet repair clip. Those things are good to have, because anybody that's ever used Ethernet cabling knows that when you go to remove them, number one, from the back of the computer, the little cover that covers the little tab that you push down on, that never does work. So you end up pulling that cover off and are back far enough so you can get to the tab, and then you forget about it and you leave it there, and then when you pull it through some stuff, the old tab gets snagged, and before you know it, it's gone. So this repairs that, so you don't have to buy a whole nother Ethernet cable. You can those ones that are broke that way, as far as the tabs are concerned, these little clips are basically a cable saver. So but they've got those for $7.95 now. Everybody else on eBay and that charges basically $10 plus shipping. So we've got it down, I think, to $7.95, I believe, and with either free shipping or very low shipping. And I don't know. Let's see what it did say. I don't remember what it said. $7.95. Well, I don't remember. Oh, this says shipping U.S. mainland. More destinations. But anyway, I think it was like $3.99 or something for shipping, if that. But whatever it is, but it was cheaper than what you could get them on eBay. And like I said, that was our goal there, just to get our foothold in the market, as it were. But anyway, I know I'm talking. I had basically wanted something that a little bit more exciting. We came up with some planners, which are nice, but they're not really great. I mean, you can get a planner anywhere. Obviously, the design of it is such that it makes it a little more attractive. Then we came up with, I had asked my family members on what we could, I gave them, I pointed them at Etsy store for 3D printed objects and let them go wild and see what they came up. They came up with quite a few good little observations, and so I printed a couple of those up. And so, like I said, we're just gonna kind of go with some of that. But anyway, in the meantime, looking for this big print, I came up with a moon lamp, and this thing really appealed to me. I don't know if it would to anybody else, but let me put in moon lamp 3D print, and this was I think this is the one I looked at first. Now obviously you can see that is a very appealing looking lamp. I mean, you know, it's the moon. Basically a copy of the moon right there on your desk. So anyway, now this is a huge print, and this turned out to be the one I wanted to do because, like I said, it is it says an eye catcher. That's exactly what it is, and it says it takes about 2 days to print. Now ours didn't take that long. I guess version 3 plus is a little faster than the one he printed on, but it took just a few minutes shy of 29 hours to print. So I guess that is 2 days technically, but like I said, that's what we did. And like I said, I have that printed now, and the printer printed flawlessly. I was a little worried that being as it was sitting on a round, well, it's not really a round, there's a flat spot on the bottom there where the lamp fits into, and it sit on that, and I think it did use a brim to hold it down a little bit, but that thing sat there for 29 hours, and while that machine gyrates quite a bit. I was impressed, thoroughly impressed on how well it stuck to the print plate there. So, but anyway, I'm gonna pop up a picture. Let me get you back out of here of the basically the what we've printed, and you can see it there. Now, that in itself is big, but like I said, that, and I printed the stand. There's 2 different stands. Well, not really 2 stands, but there's a socket adapter that fits in the base of the moon lamp, and it accepts a certain type of socket, and that's what we got from Amazon. That'll be here Tuesday, and this won't be put out until after then, until after it's actually on my desk and lit up. So this will be kind of this is just the first part of it. So but anyway, like I said, once that comes in and does that, we'll show you that. But again, it's a huge print. I mean, it took, like I said, just minutes shy of 29 hours to print, and I forget how much the filament was. I'll try to pop up the figures on that. There's I know there is a thing where you can do that in the Creality print, and the web interface both have that. So I will try that. Also, there's a time lapse, and I am going to show you that as well. We'll show you that here. And now you had time to see the time lapse. You can see it's impressive. I mean, you know, that's that's a lot of filament and a lot of jerking around and stuff like that. Now I've got to figure out how to. I know a lot of these people, when they put up time lapses there, just like the one on my intro, it doesn't show all the print head moving around, things like that. I've got to figure out how to do that. But like I said, it's still impressive looking just that way, the way it came off the file. So anywho, that's that. Like I said, I'm gonna probably let this go until we get the actual lamp and stuff like that. But I thought it was to me it's a very interesting print, and I have seen pictures on, if you put in moon lamp in Google images, you'll come up with some interesting ways that people have used these. They put them on a cord and extend them from the ceiling, where you basically have it as a overhead light, and that's kind of neat. So there's just a lot of different possibilities for this. And also, Bob, old sneaky Bob, the night that I had found this and wanted to print it because it was going to be a long print anyway, I said, well, let's get it started tonight. And I said, it'll be half done by tomorrow, when I get up or whatever. And so he was kind of hee-hawing. I should have known something was up because he never, ever hardly tries to get out of printing something. I mean, that's just something he likes to do. And so, like I said, he decided finally that he kept blaming the internet because he couldn't upload the file and stuff like that. And so he said, let's just do it in the morning. He says, everything will be fresh in the morning and it'll be working. So, okay. I said, okay. So in the morning, when I got up, I always text him, say good morning and stuff like that. He said, that's too early. And he sent me a picture and he said, look, the moon's still out. A little son of a gun had printed up his own version of the moon lamp and had it lit up and showing me the picture. Now his was what they call, I guess, a mini version. I think maybe 6-7 inches in diameter or something like that. Now this other one's huge compared to that. But anyway, I said, well, that'd be great too. We could sell those mini versions, and so we're looking into both possibilities. But so let me get off here, and when that comes in, we'll talk more about it. Good afternoon, YouTube. It's 2:03 on this Wednesday afternoon. I did get the parts in for the moon lamp yesterday and put them together this afternoon. Oh, actually this morning, I think. But I had some problems with it. Let me show you the finished picture so that you can see what it looks like. There you go. That's the, pay no attention to the mess on the desk, but that was for me messing with the lamp, and I decided to go ahead and take a picture of it, send to Bob, and I'm just using that picture. So, it looks pretty good. Now, this is my second attempt at it. Pay close attention to the, I think you can see my cursor. The lamp socket there, that cord is coming out the side, as you can see right there. And I'm going to show you the other one here. Let me do this. Alright, you can see on this second picture that, and it's hard to see, but the lamp cord is not coming out the side, it's coming out the bottom. And that actually makes the lamp raise up off the base a little bit. Stand, whatever you want to call that wavy thing. And as such, I didn't like the way that worked. And got to looking at it, and then I came up with the idea of moving that like the other one, which was, again, this one here. And when I did that, well, it works much better. It doesn't sit on the base or the socket anymore. It sits on the wavy stand, whatever you want to call that thing. So, like I said, that's the way it's designed to do, I believe. Now, that little centerpiece has got screw holes or screw threads in it, so it's made for a standard lamp socket. I don't know how many guys have messed with lamps, but there's a threaded insert that goes there that holds the socket on for your lamp, and that's what it's designed for. So if I wanted to use it that way, then the cord would probably come up through there. But the way it is now, it comes out the side. It's much easier now. Having said that, I had to go through a lot to get there. Now, I as you can see in the other picture, the before picture, I guess is what you'd call it. I did it wrong the first time, so I tried to rectify my mistake, and I got the socket apart, no problem. It was a little difficult, but it did come apart, and I got down to the place where I needed to change the lamp cord, and to do that I had to take the lamp cord out of the socket. Well, the way those work, and anybody that's ever worked putting in receptacles in a house knows what I'm talking about. They're made for you to stick the stripped wire or your house wiring into a hole, and it's got a little metal tab on it, and you push it down in there where that tab pulls back on the wire, and the wire won't come out. Well, that's the same way these are made. And sure enough, the cords come with a heavily tinned end on them. In fact, it felt like an actual wire, heavy gauge wire. But anyway, and I had shoved them down in there before I knew what I was doing. You know, there was no instructions at all with this. So that part was kind of a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. Let me show you. So I ended up trying to get the. I ended up trying to get, this is the actual bottom of the socket. I tried to get these around here. This was all enclosed in plastic on each side, but you know, in order to get them out, I had to end up breaking that out. I took a pick in there I tried first to push down on that tab to release the wire. Well, that wasn't happening, so I just put a little more pressure on it and broke that out. And this is the actual electrode for the, I don't know how you can see that, but there's a copper wire there, and there's a copper, or not wire, but a fixture bar, whatever you want to call it there, and on each side. And those are the two electrodes that connect to the lamp, which is one's the positive and one's the neutral. I should say the hot and the neutral. But anyway, so to fix it, I just basically soldered, tinned the little bar parts on each side, and then tinned the wire good and heavy, and soldered them together that way. It wasn't no big deal as far as getting it fixed. That way, now I got to tell you this too, because I messed up the first time. I soldered them on there and forgot to take the little piece that goes over the end of the socket off. So I had to unsolder them and then put it through the little piece and then solder them back. So, but like I said, I got it done, and it didn't really matter about breaking it. It's actually as strong as it ever would be. But this is our demo unit, and so like I said, it's not a big deal. It works perfectly, and like I said, so here's some of the other. Now this is the actual base that screws into the bottom of the moon itself. Now that's it doesn't really screw in. It's got I don't know how many, maybe a half dozen tabs that stick out, and there you can see there's the holes right here that the tabs fit into. And you can barely see it, but they're there. And then it twists a little bit, and that's all it is. It just holds the base in there. So that's that part. Let's see what else there was here. I've got to show you. I showed you that. Okay, there's the assembled. That gives you a good shot of assembled socket with the base. And there's actually a couple of different ways of doing it. I thought maybe it went the other way, but it won't go down through that base part unless you make the base hole a little bit bigger. And I thought, well, this works just as good doing this way, so we'll do it this way. So like I said, no instructions on this stuff. So anywho, that's it. But like I said, it does work, and I thought it looked pretty good. And like I said, especially once I got that lamp cord routed right. Now the cords for the lamps come with a switch attached to them. And it's a nice switch. I mean, you know, it's not the little cheap rocker switches, but it's a nice little switch. And everything appears to be well made as far as the sockets and that. And like I said, a little too well made sometimes. But anywho, that's that. So I just wanted to show you the finished product so you can see what it looks like all lit up. And I've got I've got family members now that want one, two actually. So I'm going to get those done. And like I said, at 30 hours of print, it takes a little while, and I got to order some new filament at the same time, because you can print, I think, three of these on a roll, spool. So, and I've already printed one, and then I printed the mini one that Bob sent me, and I'm waiting on the tea lights for it. But once it gets here, I'll have the mini unit. And now it's a battery unit, so it just basically sits right on the light itself, and it's kind of nice looking, little moon. And so kind of happy with that. So we're gonna try to sell both of them, so I think that'll be good. So all right, like I said, I didn't want to add a lot to that video, but I wanted to add something with the picture in it, showing you what it looks like. So I've been busy this morning getting that done and mailed out another kit. The orders just keep on coming. But I've got to go out to my daughter's house. My great granddaughters are out there from Lexi. Uh, you guys remember Lexi? Two of her daughters are out there. She's got three. The youngest one I don't think is there today, but they're out swimming right now, I think, and I'm not sure what they're doing later on, but so I'm supposed to go out around 6 or 7, I think. So we'll do that, and that'll be a good deal. And so, but you guys, in the meantime, have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will see ya.